So this video talks about how to read the side of your tire wall to figure out what size it is and some other details that I found out recently. So let's get going. Mine are Continental tires. They're Cross Contact LX Sport. These were factory tires that came with this car when I bought it in February 2015. And so yeah, these are OEM tires. They're about to be replaced soon, so I'm just going through so one of the things that you want to look at when you are replacing your tires is looking at the sidewall and says, okay, what brand is it? It's Continental. Okay, the model is Cross Contact LX Sport, and the important number is really these three numbers here: 235 /55 R619. So mine are radial. R stands for radial. 19 inches mean the rim. This rim here, the whole rim that the tire sits on is 19 inches. So these are considered fairly large rims. Some of them go up to like 22, I think, but some of the more premium vehicles come with larger rims like this one. So they range anywhere from like 15 to 19 on average. Some of them are a little bigger, some of them are smaller. 235, I think it was in millimeters, so 23.5 centimeters for the width from one edge to edge, and the 55 is a ratio of that, so that's this depth here. So anyway, that's the most important number you have to know before you decide on the brand, and that's the tire size. Now once you realize what the tire size means, this one is the load, and this is the speed rating. So 101, I looked it up, can handle up to 1,800 pounds per tire. And my vehicle is actually, even though it's called a minivan, it actually weighs it's a very heavy car. I have a truck, a pickup truck that weighs about just over 5,000 pounds, and this particular minivan, a Kia Sedona 2015, weighs 4,700 pounds. So it's almost as heavy as a truck. And so you want to kind of look at this number 101. I think it means 1,800 pounds per tire. So if you multiply that by 4, 1,800 times 4, I don't have a calculator, but you can figure that out. It's like 7,000 pounds, something like that, 7,200. And H is another code for speed rating. I think it was about 210 kilometers per hour. You can divide that by 1.6 if you want that in mileage, or in miles per hour. And so you need to have both the tire size and the load rate and the speed rate to match. Now this number has to be pretty much the same, I believe, unless you know what you're doing and swap the tire size or something like that. This number has to pretty much match, but this number, I believe you can go higher, so you can always go higher load. So if you found a particular set of tires that are slightly like say 105 or something like that, I think you are allowed to have a higher loading. So the tire that I'm actually thinking about has 105 rating, which is 2,000 pounds per tire. So that gives you 8,000 pound for the vehicle, including all the equipment and passengers. So I think that would be okay. H stands for the speed rating of 210 kilometers, but there's V and T and different speed rating. You can look up, there's charts for that as well. And I believe you can go with H if you have an H, or go for a higher speed rating as well. Something I didn't quite know before. Oh, here's a MNS. That just stands for mud and snow. This particular symbol does not mean severe. It just means light snow and light mud. So technically you can drive these M+S tires on snow. I wouldn't recommend it. They're not the greatest in snow unless they're brand new and has lots of tread depth and pliable layer and so on. But if you want, like if you live in a northern part of the country where there's lots of snow, you want the snow, the 3 peak mountain symbol. Those are meant for snow, severe snowstorm and type of thing. Well, nobody really wants to drive in a severe snowstorm, but that's what they're for. So this is for okay for light snow maybe. Another thing I just found out recently is the tread wear. This number, tread wear 480, traction A, temperature A. I've noticed that most tires now have AA rating, which is good. A, B, or C, I think that's the categories, but most of them have A's. The number that I want you to focus on is the tread wear. Mine says 480. Again, I got these factory, so I didn't really have much say on what kind of tires I wanted. But 480 is really soft tread, so it rides really plush, but it will also wear out fairly quickly. I have 70,000 kilometers on these tires since I bought them. They're about 70,000 is about 42,000 miles on them, and they're almost ready for replacing. There's only about 2.5 mil on the edges, and the street legal limit is 1.6, and you don't want to get that close to the to that low. So I would recommend looking into the tread wear. 480 is not recommended in my opinion. They might be okay for like if you only drive like 5,000 miles a year or something like that. If you're a really light driver, that might be okay. But for me, I want a good traction as well as longer lasting for your money's worth. So I'm looking at something around 600 or 700 tread wear at least, so that means it lasts a lot longer, and they have all these measurement systems that they use to categorize those numbers. So it doesn't mean it's necessarily going to last longer than 480. I've read that Continental has a tread wear of 800. The True Contact has 800 rating on it, and they're supposed to have about like 80,000 miles, something like that, warranty. But most people online were saying that it can only last about 40,000 miles. So it's really subjective. These are done by companies, tire companies, to rate them. So I think they're kind of like apples and oranges. You kind of have to read reviews first and decide, okay, are they really mean 80,000 miles, or are they just saying 80,000 possibility miles? So Continentals, in my opinion, have some decent tires, but I think they're just below average. I've been okay with them. Like they lasted like 40,000 miles. They're okay for factory tires, but I'm considering Michelin Defender or something like that has 720 tread wear, and the reviewers are saying that it lasts like 70 to 90,000 real world mileage. So it's important to not just read these formal numbers and stuff that they're important, but also read, there's lots of reviews on Tire Rack, videos, side-by-side reviews on different brands and different models, and as well as Tire Rack has consumer reviews on what people have thought and how many miles they actually got, and how was the snow driving or versus dry driving versus wet driving. In Pacific Northwest, we get lots of those different kinds of conditions. So it's important to do your homework and do diligence and just really do some research on what suits your need and the roads and how much you drive and the weather and so on. So hopefully this video helped to answer some of those questions, and keep searching and you will find lots of information out there. All right, good luck guys.